A news article printed in the Newcastle News on December 20th, 1875, describes a detailed account of a Bigfoot encounter in Neshannock Township, Newcastle, Pennsylvania. The article focuses on a letter submitted to the newspaper company. The article reads, "On Monday, December 20th, a singular adventure happened to me which has ever since been so painfully on my mind that I have resolved to give it to your paper for publication. Early in the morning of the day named above, accompanied by a small dog, I started to visit a number of muskrat traps which I have set along the banks of the Neshannock, some distance below the Reynolds Mill. I was making my way through the underbrush near the creek when my attention was attracted by an unusual-looking footprint embedded in the snow. It was very broad, some 13 inches in length, and was different than anything I have ever seen before. It had 5 toes, the first being spread out from the others, giving the track the appearance of having been made by a gigantic hand with the thumb extended. This discovery startled me very much, and it also greatly affected the dog, as he ran around among the underbrush, howling all the while. I had gotten a short distance from the spot where I have discovered the footprints when my ears were saluted with the most terrible roar I have ever heard in my life. The bushes were parted about 30 yards in front of me, and the most singular-looking man that I have ever beheld appeared to view. He was covered all over in grayish-colored hair, with the exception of his face and breast, the latter being covered with dark parchment-like skin. His height was about 6 feet. His arms had a spread of nearly 7 feet and seemed like cables of twisted wire, so muscular-looking were they. His chest must have measured 7 feet around, and he was all in all the personification of Herculean strength. To my inexpressible horror, he advanced rapidly toward me, beating his breasts with his muscular arms, producing a sound like the drumming of a pheasant on a hollow log, but much louder and deeper. When he had approached within a distance of 20 feet, I could plainly discern the lineaments on his horrible features. His ferocious face was very black, and was ornamented with large teeth which protruded from an immense mouth like the tusks of a wild boar. His countenance was distorted with rage. His huge teeth ground against each other so I could plainly hear the sound. The skin of his forehead was drawn forward and backward rapidly, which made his hair move up and down and gave a truly devilish expression to his face. Once more he gave out a roar which seemed to shake the woods like thunder. I could feel the earth tremble under my feet. The monster was looking at me in the eyes, advancing rapidly and beating his breasts. I was spellbound and paralyzed, and had it not been for a fortunate intervention, I should have been undoubtedly crushed in his long arms. The little dog that was with me darted forward and sunk his teeth into one of the lower limbs of the Wildman and drew his attention from me. He stooped down, grabbed the dog by the hind legs, and with both of his hands he whirled him with lightning-like rapidity around his head 6 times, loosened his grip, and the poor animal, with a piteous yelp, went through the air like a rocket for 30 yards, striking head foremost against a large sycamore tree, and then fell to the ground dead, crushed into a jelly-like pulp. Overcome with horror, I lost all consciousness. When I came to myself about 2 hours afterward, the Wildman was gone. I have been confined to my bed ever since from the effects of the adventure, and I am unable to be around. But soon as I recover, my sons and myself intend, with guns and with dogs, taking a hunt for the Wildman, and we may have something to further report, as we are determined to capture him if possible. The whole of Neshannock Township is greatly excited over the matter, as there is scarcely a night passes that corn, chickens, and other farm products are taken, and no clue left as to the perpetrator except for an unusual-looking footprint of immense size in the snow. Yours truly, John Nemo. Don't forget to watch, like, and share Bigfoot in the Forest on all your social media. Bigfoot in the Forest can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and Reddit.